How's it going, everyone? This is your host Tuku with Logic Airsoft, and today I have a very exciting and extremely popular build. We're going to be taking this SEMA Platinum Daniel Defense Mark 18 and are going to be upgrading it into a DSG. So this, as it stands, is completely stock, but it comes with some remarkable upgrades such as 13-1 gears, a pretty decent compression kit, and an extremely high torque motor, which is actually one of my personal favorites. These replicas, in all honesty, don't need much. They just need a MOSFET and a nozzle, and you are good to go. If you're playing outdoor, I would strongly recommend you guys probably get a different hop-up setup, unless you're shooting anything. If you're shooting anything 2.5 and lower, if you're shooting anything 2.5 and higher, I would recommend a hop-up and a bucking. But these things are still amazing. I take my SEMA, it's the same exact thing except it's a different body. The only thing I did to it was a MOSFET, which is what I'm going to be doing, and then a nozzle, which I'm going to be doing as well. These are extremely reliable. These things are absolute tanks and they're absolute beaters. But we're going to be upgrading this beauty. So let's get some before and after, see what she sounds like, see what she does in semi. Okay, got a little beep. That's full auto. Shoots pretty good, but we're going to make it shoot better. So without further ado, let's get it going. Look how delicious this looks. SEMA, what are we doing, buddy? What is this? Alright, so we just got done taking apart the gearbox. We're going to go ahead and get our JB Weld epoxy. We're going to mix it up together and throw them into our bushings, and then pop our bushings into our gearbox. But before we do that, we need to grind, let me see if I can show you guys, this down and this down to get the MOSFET to sit properly. So I'll be right back once I'm done. Alright. So we are back. I cut everything down. So it's time to get some epoxy down on a sheet of paper. All right, we are back. I already shaved everything that needed to be shaved, but before we can go ahead and install our MOSFET, we got some steel bushings we're gonna go ahead and install. So we're gonna get a sheet of paper out, we're gonna get our epoxy, we're gonna open it up, put some down. That should be enough. Close it up. And then I just like using my punch pin to mix everything up. Test fit. Goes in. Great. Install it just like that. So we're going to do that for the rest of them. All right, awesome. So these are in. You just want to make sure that no epoxy, no Gorilla Glue, whatever adhesive you're using doesn't come out, because if it does, it can probably get in the way. And then you just don't want to mess inside your gearbox. Keep it as clean as you possibly can. So we're gonna go ahead and do that to the other side. Awesome, and this is what it looks like. So we'll be back in a couple hours to check in on this and see how it goes. All right, so it is the next day, and I checked our bushings, and they all seem to be doing pretty good. Tried popping them out with my fingers, they haven't came out. So yeah, everything's good. Now, we're gonna start shimming the gearbox with, obviously, shims. Let me just get all the gears out. We're gonna be using, again, Rocket 16-1 gears with a SHS DSG. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so we just got done finishing the gearbox. We can start the gears, the MOSFET, compression. So we're ready to close this gearbox up. Once we close it up, we're going to throw it back into the body, test fire it, make sure everything's good, go through the programming, and I'll take you guys along the process of all of that. Alright, so we just put the gearbox all back in. I already tested with the battery just to show you guys what she sounds like. Let me go ahead and get a battery and plug her in. Got a little battery on. Went to safe. Went to semi. Went to full auto. Shot and semi. Back to safe. So she absolutely rips. But we're still not done. We're gonna put it all back together. But before we do so, we got a retro arms hop-ups install. So let's take care of that. And here we have it. Alrighty, so I took her home to get chronoed because I can't chrono at my current shop. Landlord doesn't allow it, but here are the chrono numbers. So I ended up going through a couple of rounds, and then the peak FPS was a 323. The lowest FPS was 316. The average was sitting at 320 FPS, and the RPS, which I know many of you guys are excited about because it's a DSG, was sitting at 47 RPS. So FPS is pretty good. It's relatively consistent, except it has its jumps here and there, which is kind of typical with AEGs. And overall, this build came out a whole lot better than I anticipated. It shoots really nice. It's extremely snappy, and I hope the customer likes it. And if any of you guys need a build, want a build done, please feel free to message us at logicairsoft.com or reach out to us on Instagram at logicairsoft.us. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.